All right, we are live on Facebook. It's the bottle coming at you again, and I'm with Wife of Can. Hi, Wife of Can.
Hi, Bottle. Hi, everyone.
It's always great having you on because you cook such wonderful things. The son of Can has definitely married a really number one top of the shelf here. So love having
you.
What are we doing tonight, Wife of Can?
All right, so we're making beer battered onion rings, and they're really easy to make. I think it's going to be most ingredients. Most folks have these ingredients, so it's going to be 1 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 1/2 to 2 teaspoons of salt, 1 1/4 cup of beer, and some oil for frying. And if your onions are strong, I'm going to show you how to make some buttermilk. So that's it. Super easy.
So most of these things you're going to have in your house. And so, I know myself, being the bachelor that I am, I have had a bag of onions laying around, I don't know, in one of the cabinets for about, it could be a year now. But so they tend to stick around. Now, how long will onions stay good? They stay good for a few weeks usually, right?
They stay good. Yeah. If you keep them in dark places,
that's what the bottle. That's what a bottle is. I'm always in dark places, crawl spaces, basements, gutters. So good. So we're going to get back to you in a minute, but folks who are just tuning in, people are just starting to come on. We've got a lot to talk about. And the real exciting thing is we have tonight, along with the onion rings, is Be Here Brewing is back with a Kolsch, a German style. I'm very excited to share this with you. It's going to pair well, we think, with these beer battered onion rings. So what we do a lot of times is have the Wife of Can on a Friday or when possible, so that people can go out and get whatever ingredients they might want to get over the weekend, unless they already have them. Now, as you know, if you got an onion, you probably got flour and all the other stuff anyway. So, and then if you're in the Chester County area, Avondale, Kennett Square, in that area, Be Here Brewing is a great place. They just opened up within the last year, and they're doing a really great job with, still providing beer and social distancing at the same time. They're very, very, the standards are high on cleaning the bottles, the growlers, and they come out, they've got masks and gloves and everything. If you see from my picture on my post, I was there trying to do the right thing. The bottle, unlike many bad bottles behaving badly, which we'll talk about more tonight, but we have a new segment tonight, folks. It's called Compassionate Can. So instead of just talking about bottle behaving badly, which is the can basically sending me messages saying these bottles need to be stopped. And I go, look, man, don't make me look bad, you bottles. A lot of these, not all bottles are bad. So I come up with one called Compassionate Cans, and we're going to talk about some of the nice stories tonight about compassionate cans. What do you think about that, Wife of Can?
I think this is a good idea because compassion's a good quality to have.
It sure is. And, the lack of compassion is happening somewhat with the two sides fighting. We're a very divided country right now. And, the bottle, I'm independent. I'm in the middle. But, I try to see both sides. It's tough right now. It's tough all around. But the good thing about this show is we've got food, we've got beer, and we've got goodwill. Right, Wife of Can?
Yeah, that's right. I was getting interrupted by the can. Sorry.
It's funny because he says he wasn't going to talk, but I hear he's really brewing. Tonight. Tell me what's on his mind. Hopefully he won't talk. Because he gives me a migraine sometimes when he does.
Yeah.
I still love the can, even though I got to live with him somewhat. Go ahead. What's he saying? What's going on?
I don't know. He's just playing around with his phone. He's been online a lot lately.
Yeah.
He's been talking about the State of the Union.
Oh yeah. Well, he had me do the State of the Union last week, and now, from what I understand, folks, the can says that Georgia should be kicked out of the union for lack of social distancing, and now this murder thing happening with this awful situation that's unfolding there. They're in the state of affairs down there, and I've got friends in Atlanta. I love hot Atlanta, trust me. That's bottles kind of territory, but unfortunately, there's other things going on there that's really they're in hot water. But the can, this is the can talking, not the bottle, says they should be kicked out of the union, the state of Georgia. So that's the breaking news from the can. Am I correct, wife of can?
That's correct. He just mentioned Gone with the Wind.
Touche. All right. Well, so that's one thing that's happening, folks. Everybody has an opinion on that. The social distancing is a big hot button because now apparently Mike Pence, that makes no sense in some people's eyes. One of his workers that work with him on his staff has developed the virus, and they still refuse to put on a mask because they're too cool. And that might look bad to their base, like a sign of weakness, like you shouldn't go out, I guess. So even though it's creeping right in the Oval Office. The bottle has no problem saying that he thinks that you should practice social distancing, wear masks and things like that, because I've been stuck in my bottle lair basement for 2 months without my bottle babes. Now these girls, they like the bottle. They like jumping all over the bottle. Look at this thing. And I'm doing it. Why can't everybody else? It's too cool for the president and the vice president, or they're worried about their base going crazy saying, well, we better start wearing masks now. But they're buying a lot of guns. And like I said, the invisible boogeyman they're worried about, but they're not worried about the invisible virus that's killing a lot of people. So it's just baffling in my mind. Wife of Kim, why don't we start with the onion rings? Let's get going.
All right. So I'm going to turn the camera around so that you can see what is going on the counter.
Gotcha.
Bear with me. Okay. How's that?
Okay, now what kind of onions did you use here for people who don't know? And can you use different kind of onions? Tell us about that.
Yeah, so you could use white onions or yellow onions. These are yellow onions. I've never really made fried onion rings with red onions, but I suppose you could use them if that's what you've got. And tonight, these onions are really strong.
When you say strong, what's that mean? Strong like the bottle?
Yeah, strong like that.
Oh, well, not, you're talking about my BO now. You mean the smell of an odor. I thought you meant they look strong and sturdy, like they'd be a good onion ring.
Well, I could say both sides. One was maybe when you were on the beach in the hot sun, there's that, but there's also a good sweet onion smell. And I've got contacts in, so they're not bothering my eyes, but if I had them out, these would definitely be making me tear.
Well, let me tell you, when I was on the beach, my bottle babes did not complain. They thought I smelled sweet like sugar. So I don't know where that came from, but go ahead.
All right. So what you can do to help with really strong onions, and sometimes when onions are older, they get strong. So what I've got here is 1 cup of almond milk and 1 teaspoon of apple cider vinegar. And you can also use lemon juice. And this makes a buttermilk. And you can also see those curdles?
Yes.
Okay. So that's been sitting for like 10 minutes. You could use cashew and soy milk too to make buttermilk.
And what's the purpose? This is to cut down on the strong, so you don't tear up, or is it strong in flavor? It cuts on the.
Yeah, it makes it just taste a little bit more sweeter. It just cuts out that strong flavor, really.
That onion smell. I know when see the bottle cooks. A lot of people see the reason I have a lot of bottle babes, wife of can, is they love that a man cooks. Right? Now, unfortunately, for some guys, they don't get it. That when you cook for a woman, I mean, that's a turn on. Is it not, a wife of Can?
I guess so. I mean, I would love to have someone cook for me, but I tend to be really the only cook here. But that's okay, because I'd rather have that than something burnt by the can.
Well, you know, if the bottle came over, the can would be kicked to the curb. Trust me on that one, wife of Can. You might be headed to the courthouse.
That's almost like a new game, kicking the can instead of kicking the bottle.
Well, I'll tell you, the reason I said me being a cook is I know with onions, I tend to use less because they overpower a lot of times the dish. Does that?
Yeah, that's right. They do overpower. Look at you go.
Right. When I see a half a cup of onion in there, I usually make it like a quarter cup or something, you know, so it doesn't overpower everything else. So, but this is straight onions, baby. So, you know, you're eating an onion ring, you know it. So there's no other real ingredients complementing this. Yeah.
So super easy. You can even let this sit in here for a few minutes if you want. But since we're doing a short video tonight, I'm just gonna put them in our dry mixture next. So do you want to do that now? Or
go for it. You keep doing what you're doing. I'll talk a little and I'll get back to you because I've got a few other things to talk about. First of all, I can't help myself. I've snuck the Be Here brewing thing already. I already cracked this growler earlier. It's delicious, I can tell you already, but we'll talk more about the beer and about what Be Here is doing. Now, Be Here, for people who don't know, that Be Here Brewing is in Avondale, Pennsylvania. It's about 10 minutes from Kennett Square. And this is bottle land for me. This is where I live in this area. So I've been there a few times. I love their beer. I really do. There's something about their beer. It has a slight sweetness to it. And that's what I like, just like my bottle babes. I like just a slight bit of sweetness. And then I like sassy too. And I would say this beer is a little sassy. And this is a German, this particular one is it's light in body and alcohol. As you can see right here, I've already poured myself a glass. Let me pour a fresh one. Let me just swig this down because it's so delicious and pour a fresh one for you just to see what it's like. Wow. That is really good. Anyway, so I'm going to take this growler and I am going to pour myself Now look at that, folks. Doesn't that look good? So it is light in body, light in alcohol. So it's a clean drinking beer, I can tell you already. So again, there you have it. It's kind of like it's not a light body. It's got it's not like a Pilsner or anything like that. So this is a Kolsch, I think is the way you pronounce it. Like I said, I'm not a beer nerd. I'm just a bottle that's being used for centuries, okay, for people to drink out of. So give me a break here. Anyway, I can definitely smell the honey. It's really has this just hint of honey that you can smell it and you can immediately taste it. And then it just cascades down your throat for a great finish. I mean, it is so delicious. I love their Dunkel, which I reviewed last week. And I love a lot of their beers. They have a red beer that I just think is fantastic. And they're coming up with new ones. This particular one, well, let me get back to Wife of Can. Wife of Can, tell us what you're doing. Onion rings.
All right, what I'm doing is I'm making onion rings. And right now I'm going to be doing 2 coatings of the flour. So after I get these done, I'm going to put beer in the dry ingredients, this big can, not the whole can, like 1 1/4 cup of this beer. And then we're going to get like an extra layer of breading on these onion rings.
Gotcha.
So that's all.
There's some big onion rings too. Now,
Yeah,
do
they're
you
gonna be
peel
really
back
good.
the onion? So how do you do that? Do you just sort of cut it in half and start peeling it back to get these big pieces? Is that what you do with onion rings? Are you just doing one slice?
Yeah, you slice here, you slice there, take off the peel, and don't run a knife this way because you need the rings. So you're gonna peel it back as far as it needs to be. Because sometimes you'll have like a skin underneath this that is a little tough. And then you're gonna, I think for this, I sliced it 4 times this way.
And then you peel it off. Is that, and it just, the rings come off?
Yeah, you just divide it up. Yep. I'm
Great.
sorry, separate it.
And so this mix that you have, this flour mix, has what in it again for our people at home?
It has 1 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 1/2 teaspoons of salt, and that's it right now. And then I'm going to add in 1 1/4 cup of beer any minute now.
And you, looks like you're going with Modelo, our Mexican
Yeah.
friends.
Yeah, well, the can had it. He got this big can of beer. I assume he would be drinking it all at once. So I'm going to be using some of his beer, but I think I might take some. He doesn't need the whole can, right?
No. Is there a reason that there's a Modelo tonight? Is the can making another statement about Mexico? Because I know that, you know, there's a lot of controversy and, you know, with things that have happened there too. Is there anything that the can has told you about?
Yeah, I think this is a statement. It's a yeah, I definitely think so.
And what would the statement be? Do I hear him back there again?
Yeah, he's here.
Or that's a
He's
parrot.
here.
I know you have a parrot.
Well, he could be a parrot sometimes too. Sometimes I can't tell who's talking.
Right.
Let's see. Do you want it, Can? Do you want to come on and talk about this now? Or he says he can't talk about it right now.
He's still not talking.
No.
So he says he's not going to talk till we go out on the road when this thing is over. But there is a statement in there about Mexico and the wall, I guess. You know, the can is not a fan of President Bottle. And people don't know I talk about President Bottle because he's the supreme bottle. And some people, not the president himself, but other people say that he is the supreme bottle. I say he's not. I am the supreme bottle. He is a poser. And he's a bottle that's behaved badly for some time. Now, going in, I thought, wow, maybe I'd vote for this guy. Early years and years ago, the bottle said, he has bottle-like tendencies, but I can look past certain things because a lot of these bottles are way over the top. I am a bottle that is right down the middle. I'm an independent bottle. I see both sides. But then the Supreme bottle is starting to unravel. I mean, he's starting to shatter a bit. Now, you know, my bottle cracks but never shatters. This guy's a little bit out there with some of his things that are happening. And so the can has sent me messages about this Supreme bottle a lot. And I say, you know, I shrug things off. Recently, though, he's done some really, really badly behaving bottle-like things. So anywho, it's still our president. We have to deal with what we have to do. But he's definitely not the supreme bottle. I am. I will always be the supreme bottle. I have been since the 15th century. But what we're saying with this whole show is we, the bottle and the can, have to get along in the beer world. So why not everybody in the real world? There's too much division, folks. We've got to start being kind to each other. You know, both sides. It's insane, the hatred. And I know not everybody feels that way. There's lots of independents, closet independents mostly. So come out, independents, and go to Be Here Brewing. I live in the town of Avondale. And guess what? There's both sides live in our town. There are gun-toting people, and there are other sides that are coming in from different parts of the different states, and we all get along here. And so, you know, Be Here is right in the middle of it, and beer will bring us together, won't it? So enough about that. I said I wouldn't get political, but unfortunately, there comes a time in life, and when something like this happens, you have to make a stand. You really do. And I'm making a stand for people. Do the right thing and eat onion rings and drink beer, preferably from Be Here Brewing. What are you doing now, wife of Can?
All right, so I just added 1¼ cup of beer, really any beer that you want. The Be Here Brewing would be really good in this. So that just gets mixed up, and then I'm gonna put the onion rings back in here, and I'm gonna go over to the pan that has some warm oil in it. And I also wanna talk about some safety when you're cooking with grease bottle.
All right, yeah, we want to be safe. You know, what's funny, wife of Can, is that imagine this delicious sort of honey, crisp honey biscuity, German style Kolsch from Be Here in that batter. A little bit of sweetness with that. Would that be pretty cool?
You could add some sweet onion rings. Yeah, absolutely.
I think that would be delicious. This beer is delicious. I'm going to tell you right now, folks, if you haven't tried Be Here Brewing, I got to tell you, I'm not partial because they're close to my hometown. I am not. If they weren't good, it wasn't good beer, I would just steer people right away, or I wouldn't say anything, because that's what people with class do. Okay? The bottle has morals. I talk about people behind their backs. Think about that. Anyway, but Be Here is, the beer is amazing. I have to say, I love it. I love their Dunkel. I love their red that they have. I really love this. I haven't had it before. I'm going to drink this all night probably. I may pass out on the show. If I do, just, you know, cut me off. But they really have some good beer. So please check them out. They go curbside. You can go online. They have flights now to go, I believe. And you can go online, Be Here Brewing.com, I believe. I put it in the post. And you can come out and just drive right up to the, you can pay online and come up, and they'll serve you right there curbside, and you're on your way. You don't have to get out of your car. You know, it's really great. What I would say is, and tip them too. Give them a few bucks. Don't be cheap. Now, I know everybody's hurting though, and a lot of people seriously are hurting. So take that with a grain of sand. You know, that's what the bottle is made of, sand, you know. Not a lot of people know that. I'm 15th century. But look, if you've got a few bucks, a lot of these bartenders aren't making any money. They're doubling up as cooks and stuff like that just to get, you know, a minimum type wage. Hit them with a few bucks if you can. Anyway, now what are you doing with the batter here? We're getting back. I'm going back and forth here, trying to get different things going on. Wife Can.
Yeah. Okay, Bob. All right. So, and everyone here. So this is the batter. And then I did an extra step tonight. So I coated the onion rings with some of the flour mixture first. It's just an option. If you want a lot of extra breading, you can do this. But first I want to talk about safety in your kitchen when you're using hot oil. We have some friends who are firefighters, and I think that they'd appreciate this. And fires in the kitchen can happen really fast. So usually this pan's really clean. We made quesadillas tonight, and I didn't bother scrubbing it too much. But so first, what you need to do is, if your pan gets too hot and it starts smoking, you need to put your lid on the pan. And what that does is it stops oxygen from happening and spreading, you know, a possible fire. And what you should never, ever do not ever extinguish fire with water, because that will make a fire if you add water to it.
That lights it up even more.
Absolutely, yeah.
When it's grease, right? When it's like, well, grease or oil or something like that, right?
Yep. So never add water. And then the second part is turn off the heat source, obviously, move it off from the burner. And then another option is pour, like, always have baking soda nearby. Here's my baking soda in a jar, and I have the lid off. So you can also put the baking soda on top of the grease. And you can also use salt to smother the fire. And then as a last resort, you could spray the fire with a Class B dry chemical fire extinguisher.
Or in your case, last resort or first resort is throw your husband on there. Throw the can on there.
Well, that'd be
if you were mad at him, if you're mad at him. Are you mad at him a lot? Be honest, wife of Can. Does he annoy you a lot?
I'm not mad at him. There's just sometimes when he doesn't think with like a bottlehead does, he's thinking like a can. So
see, the can the can cares about humanity more than anybody in the world, I think. Don't you think?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give him that. He is a can of the people.
He is.
So, with that comes, different things. What are you doing now with you're dipping in the batter and it's going in the oil? Here it is, folks.
There it goes.
Isn't that wonderful? Now, what kind of oil did you use?
I had safflower in the cabinet, so I'm using safflower.
Tell people the difference between some of the oils that you can use. Like, there's really oils that probably you shouldn't use. They're not as healthy as other oils. There's flash points because when you do high heat, talk about things.
Absolutely. Yeah. So what happens is there's flash points, and then also some of the fats get changed. So you start getting into like trans fat, saturated fat. Some of it's from like a health perspective. What do you want to be putting in your body, kind of thing.
So tell us some of the best ones to use. One, sometimes people use different ones just because it's better for cooking. Some is better for health. What do you think the best sort of middle ground is for cooking something like this?
I think avocado oil has a high temperature. If I had a lot of that, I would have used it, but I don't right now, because you need at least about 1.5 inches of oil in the pan.
Now, the average person that isn't, is just starting out and cooking may not have like avocado oil or safflower oil. They probably have more vegetable oil, olive oil,
Yeah,
those
vegetable
kind
oil.
of things.
Yeah, vegetable oil would work. Yep.
They're probably not as good health-wise, but it's what people have. And at this point, especially people home, not having a lot of money, they're going to use what they've got, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Use what you have. That's what I always tell. I think you say that too. We both say it. Use what you have.
Yep. That's the point of this show, is to try to get you. And then what you don't have is Be Here Brewing beer. That's something you got to go out and get, folks. Okay. So if you're going to spend a few bucks, go out and get this beer. Trust me, you won't be disappointed. It is really good beer. I'll talk about beer. I've done a lot of beer reviews on here, and just something about the style of brewing that it suits me. I'm not a huge IPA person. Nothing against IPAs. They've been poured through me for a long time now. These craft brewers have done it, used me until they put themselves in a can, and then they were like Benedict Arnold on me. I'm still mad at the craft brewers, a lot of them, until they just say, I don't want to be in the can anymore. And they start sending me money and cars and apologies for all the years that I stood by them. What do? They do a craft brewers association with an upside down bottle, make me look like the Antichrist. That's what I get for all my years of service to the craft brewers. I still love you. I think there's still time to mend our friendship. Back to you. Look at those onion rings.
So I've got the can timing this. I don't know if he's going to time it, but you have about 5 to 7 minutes of fry time. And you got to turn them over halfway in between. So I'm going to turn one over just to see how it looks. And I've got the burner on medium. And when you get these in the restaurants, they're using a deep fryer.
Yeah, I mean, and so does that cook it more evenly if they're dunked in there than if you had to flip it? Is that what you're kind of saying?
Yeah, I think like a commercial fryer, or even like I think they're called Fry Daddies. You could get them at, to have them at home. They're not commercial grade, but they're a nice little deep fryer.
So you have to be real careful and really don't like do a big bong hit before you do these, because then you might forget to turn them over, right?
Yeah, that could impair your onion ring making. Yep.
I could impair it. Well, folks, there's some tips from Wife of Can of, she talked about safety and cooking with oil, and don't get too stoned before you do this. Make sure you get stoned afterwards, or stoned. Well, if you get stoned before, you're going to be having the munchies anyway. Who knows? Maybe just don't get stoned. Period. They're starting to get brown. They're starting to look very, very nice. I lost your audio, I think.
Yeah, I'm going back and forth. I need a third hand here. Yeah, so this is
starting to get there. Now, are you getting close with those, or we're about a minute or two away, it looks like, right?
Yeah, I think so. Oh, the can said yes.
The can said yes. The can gives the thumbs up. Now, folks, some other news while these are being cooked, I'll get back to. It looks like Mike from Wilmington says, I'm a third party. I'm a draft or drought, how they used to spell it, or they do spell it in different ways. So he's in the middle too, just like the bottle. I think you're talking about politically, aren't you? This isn't a political show, but we have very strong opinions here both ways. Bottle loves everybody. I can't speak for the can. I don't know, but he is a can of the people. But he's just very disappointed with people right now, so he's not talking. I tend to go with the flow. That's what the bottle does, goes with the flow of beer. So anyway, Jamie, thanks for tuning in. Our longtime buddy, Jamie, and Mara from Be Here's on, and some others. I wish I could see it. This new Zoom things, I can't see people coming on. And I used to give nice shout outs and stuff. I'm very disappointed with the new Facebook sort of interface with it. But, it is what it is. I'm not going to start blaming people, just like countries blaming other countries. I did this. We brought this here. You did this. Too much finger pointing. I'm not going to point. I'm thankful to have Facebook and Zoom right now and being able to talk to you and showing you these delicious, I could say that already because the wife of Ken has cooked for us before, onion rings, and this delicious beer from Be Here Brewing in Avondale, Pennsylvania. Go to BeHereBrewing.com. Look for their flights to go. They are sanitary. They have the highest standards with sanitary. They come out masks and gloves. If you're into that, if you don't care about that, that's just all the better. Go see them anyway. Just go there because they have some delicious beer. I'm enjoying this. I think I'm going to enjoy it all night because it's easy drinking beer. It's low alcohol, this beer. And I forgot to mention, it's called School's Out. And it's basically goes out to all the teachers working overtime hours and to all the parents that are, having to homeschool their children. This beer is for you. And it's from Be Here Brewing in Avondale, Pennsylvania. Look them up online. And let me tell you, I'll say it once, I'll say it a million times. I love their beer. This one, now I gave the Dunkel a 4.5 to a 5 star. It's 5 bottles, actually. I don't usually do any 5-bottle reviews. This one is just like Dunkel. It's just as close to a 4.5 to 5 bottles in my review. It's just delicious. It's not pretentious. I have to say some of the beers that have come out, they try too hard. It doesn't seem like this brewery is trying too hard. It seems like they're doing some basic things, and then they just do subtleties with some of the flavors, because some of it's just too over the top. Some of these beers that I've had, and so kudos to them. Check them out. Check out their flights to go. And I want to talk about the constipated lizard that had 80% of his body was made of poop. Just some useless information I wanted to add in that's in the news. It's on my sheet. It's reported that the reason he was constipated, this lizard, was that 3 Big Mac wrappers were found nearby, somewhere near where he was passed out, this lizard. So it's a lizard somewhere. You can look it up. This is real information. I give you the real news. I don't make up. This is not fake news here, folks. This is real. This is a constipated lizard. There's some information I want to tell you. Let's go back to these onion rings. Look at those onion rings back there. I mean, they are perfect to me in my eyes. What you can.
Yeah, they're golden, and you got to keep your temperature at medium.
Don't go too high. You'll scold them.
Yeah, and then you can get a kitchen fire, and we don't want that.
No kitchen fires.
No.
Look at those. Can you move your I don't know if can you get a close up? Can you move those golden beautiful onion rings closer to the camera? Burning yourself?
I absolutely can, Bottle.
Look at those. They are glorious. Oh my goodness.
How's that light?
That and a Schools Out Kolsch by Be Here would be perfect together, I think. So folks, get out to your store if you don't have these ingredients. We're going to post the recipe in the comment section when we're done. And get this, make some onion rings, get to Be Here Brewing and compliment these. I just can't wait to sample both. I'm going to make it myself tomorrow. And that's why we're here, folks. We're here to provide a service for you. We give PSAs constantly about what's going on in the world. Bottles behaving badly. Compassionate cans. Let's take up compassionate cans. All this bad news.
Bottle.
What? Oh my God! Look who it is. You do the talking. Don't let him talk.
Don't let him talk. Are you wearing a dogfish head hat?
A dogfish head hat. He talks with his party favor from 1950 that I think I gave for breakfast. Oh, we don't want to talk about that brewery. First of all, they're all in cans. That brewery is a big brewery out in Colorado, and they're all in cans. He gives a thumbs up. I don't. I don't like them. We want that brewery. Did we not, son of can? And when they did, they had an old bottling line, and they sort of snickered and laughed, the rep. I was very upset. I had to restrain myself in there. Oscar Blues. We'll give you a free shout out, Oscar Blues, even though you're all in cans.
Yeah.
Got a tattoo with cans on them.
Yeah.
And then Dogfish. A Dogfish, they're okay. They would have been better if they never went in cans. Sam tried to fight it for a long time, but millennials want cans. That's all they want. Go figure. Carol Stout, first female brewer since Prohibition.
All right, I got to turn these over, everyone.
All right. Look at this.
They're sticking. They're sticking.
Heavenly. Turn that whole thing over at once. Don't burn yourself, though.
All right. Let's see. Uh-oh, could get dangerous. There.
I like living on the edge, though. The bottle does. So flip that whole thing at once.
Hold on. It's almost like what are those? Funnel cakes, right?
Yeah, right. Like you're at the carnival or the St. Anthony's festival in Wilmington. The funnel cakes.
Here's the cooked ones, everyone.
Man, they look great. I mean, look at that. That's restaurant quality. That's not even like deep fryer quality.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Right, I'm gonna keep cooking these, Bottle.
All right. I got a few more things before we go for the night. Folks, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. We love you. No matter what side you're on, We know people are scared. We know people are hurting. So when I start busting the Supreme bottle, Supreme President's balls, it's really and everybody else that buys guns, and then other people that are paranoid about putting masks on and stuff like that. Look, we're all in this together. We got to live as one, just like the bottle and can have to do in the beer world. We know people are scared. They need to go back to work. There's pushing a 30% unemployment rate. We get it. But we still need to be safe. We still need to respect others and other safety. Have you talked to your grandma today? Have you talked to your mother today? Have you called your father or grandmother or great-grandfather? Even if you're not sick, think about them. They matter. The 15th century, I'm older than all of you. Think about me. Right. I gotta yell at people for them to get it. Call them up. Tell them you love them. Some people aren't seeing their folks ever again. Don't want to be a Debbie Downer here tonight, but sometimes I get on my bottle box.
Hey,
Back to you
Bottle,
with the onion rings.
Bottle, I found something.
Go ahead.
If you ever want to give an onion ring to your bottle babes, look at this.
Wow. Look at
How
that,
cool
folks.
is that?
That is, look, show that again and talk because it'll go back to you. It's voice activated.
Okay, I said, if you ever want to give your bottle babes a ring, here is literally an onion ring with, how cool is that?
I mean, look, the bottle's an orphan. I've never had money. I know for these digitals, I might have to do that. I mean, that's hot. I mean, that's romance. I'll tell you right now. An onion ring diamond. Look at that. Thank you. Carl Dubé would be proud right now. And Carl Dubé Jewelers is our major sponsor of Beer Can of Love Story. Go to beercanoflovestory.com, see the trailer, see Carol Stout and Sam from Dogfish, and see Beer Monk and John Metcalf and all these beer luminaries. And of course, the bottle and the can are in there. The bottle babes are there. It's called Beer Can of Love Story. I'm not happy about that. It should be called Bottle Land or something of that, or the bottle's #1 or God Bottle. I don't know, but he got top billing. I'm going to give it back to the wife of Can. We're about to wrap it up. Wife of Can, tell us about what you're doing. Tell us about anything that you want to talk about.
All right, I'm going to get that off the burner because it's hot right now. Let me move this over here. I got to move the camera, everyone. Hold on. And see, when you fry, it makes a big old mess, but it's worth it. Okay, so look at this bottle.
That looks amazing.
Look at this. This is like a double carat ring.
It looks like that or a Mickey Mouse Clubhouse thing that you can wear.
Yeah, you got a double or Mickey Mouse. And then look at this. Here's a single. Is that a solitaire?
Look, I could give all my bottle babes onion rings to
Literally.
if I was going to marry them.
Yes.
Which I'm not. The bottle will never marry. The bottle will never have children. There's only one bottle.
Well, they could be friendship rings.
Yeah, people ask me about this ring a lot. See this one? It's a friendship ring. My bottle babe bought it for me. I got it from Carl Dubé Jewelers, the best jeweler in town, Wilmington, Concord Pike. Been around for years. Carl and the family, Nola and Frank, have been good friends of the bottle for many, many years. And go see them if you need some really cool jewelry and it's not over the top pricing. I mean, if you want to spend some money, sure, you can here. But they also have some great funky cool for people on a budget. I'm back to you, wife of Can.
Okay, so here's the onion rings. We made them. How long have we been on here tonight?
About 40 minutes, 40-ish.
Okay, yeah, they
It
came
took
together
about that long. The whole process did, right?
Yeah. There they
Well,
are.
Do they look delicious? Do they make you want to go out to your local supermarket and get the ingredients that we're going to post and make these things this weekend and get yourself some Be Here brews, and go online to Be Here Brewing. And if you're in the Chester County area, London Grove Township, Kennett Square, you know, I don't know if you can come over the line or not from Delaware. I don't want to promote that. I really don't, but people are doing it anyway. I know you can't go the other way. Governor Carney, as you know, he's a conservative kind of guy. I know Governor for a long time. And, you know, he's trying to do the right thing. Some people are calling him like a tyrant and stuff. It's really unfair. But again, it's the meanness I don't like. I see it on Facebook. Don't be a dick. Go ahead.
Hey, Bottle, everybody. Can you hear the crunch in this Zoom?
I can, but I was flapping about political shit. Go ahead.
I'm going to crunch one more time.
Oh my goodness. How can you not hear that?
Yeah, it's so good.
How would you describe the taste other than it's really good? Like what kind of, you talked about cutting the sweetness, making the sweeter because of the strong, because you buttermilked them.
Yeah, the buttermilk. They're even sweeter now, and they're crunchy. And I don't taste too much of the beer, but I think if you used a darker beer, you would definitely have more of a flavor. But we used a Modelo today, which is a lot lighter. So, but it tastes delicious.
Is it true that the can had a Mexican throw that over the wall?
He says, yeah.
He was trying to help the economy, I guess, right? I don't look. I'm just reporting the news, folks. Don't shoot the messenger here. I don't have either way. I don't have an opinion on it. The bottle is right down the middle, but I know the can does.
Well, the can wants to break the border wall down. I think that's what he just said.
Is he going to rush it with his can? You know, folks who haven't seen this guy, go online and see a love story. This can is heavy duty. He could ram that wall with his whole body.
Right there.
Yeah, exactly.
As the wife of Can drinks the Modelo and salutes Mexican people. We love all people. Trust me, in Avondale, we've got lots of Mexican people that work in the mushroom farms, okay? They're hardworking people.
Yes.
I'll give them that. I don't have an opinion either way. This is what I'm saying. A lot of people do. People that are they're sort of ignorant, I believe. Don't you think so, wife of Can?
They are, and there's a lot of there's a lot of nasty racism going on right now, and it's just uncalled for. And if there wasn't any quarantine, I might have to go off right now. If we weren't in any viral quarantine, I would be protesting with the can down in Georgia.
Here's the thing. Don't you think that people on social media have big brass ones that they normally wouldn't have?
Yep.
I know people are frustrated. I know, you know, there's two sides to every story, but it's just, I've seen this stuff. It's so nasty. We want to bring love and beer and food to you. Bottle and can have to get along. We don't particularly like each other at all. Trust me.
Oh.
Is that right, wife of Can?
That's about right. But you two blend together in your own ways.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, the point is we have to get along in the beer world. Everybody else can get along in the real world.
Absolutely.
Why not?
I know.
4 more beers.
Cheers, Bottle. 4 more beers.
4 more beers. That's this to 4 more beers.
4 more onion rings. Hold on. You know, I can't believe Carl Dubé needs to make some onion ring rings. How cool would that be?
They should have those at a party, and then he can serve those. I'll call Carl up. I'll text him. Folks, this has been great. Hey, look, the bottom line is food, beer, and love is all you need. Really.
Can we get
That thing.
Check out that one.
And sex once in a while, right? If you
Sure.
can pull it off. So I'll give you final words. wife of Can, well, I won't. I'll give you one last thing and then I'll sign off and let our people go get some sleep or go do whatever they do. Tuck their kids in if they haven't done that already. They should be sleeping by now.
All right. That's right. Cheers to beers, or cheers to beers, bottles and cans. And thanks for having me on tonight, Bottle. It's been fun. And I'm putting a garden in this weekend.
Now,
That's
a lot
it.
of people are putting gardens in, aren't they? People are starting to grow their own food and stuff. And I think it's really
Yep.
not like there's this sort of apocalypse, and stuff like that. I think people are just home and they're going, why not be home and really enjoy my home? Unfortunately,
I'm glad they're doing it.
but that's the way it is. Is that
Yeah.
right? What are you growing?
I'm
What kind of
excited
things
people
you
are
growing?
gardening.
What kind of things are you growing?
We have some kale, eventually some tomatoes. There's some lettuce. I'll get some beets and carrots in. Potatoes. Potatoes will take a while. Onions, peppers, maybe eggplant. I don't have a good success with eggplant because the little fleas get on them.
Well, the bottle grew some eggplant last year and actually came out pretty well. But
All right.
the critters do start eating things. So, folks,
The can just said that's way too personal about your growing your eggplants.
I got a set of eggplants. Look, this is where we draw the line. This is why we don't really get along. We try because he's got to put a little digs in every once in a while, doesn't he?
Yeah.
You got
Okay.
to
Hey, mumbling.
Mumble.
Hey, folks, thanks again. Thanks to Wife of Can. Thanks to Be Here Brewing in Avondale, Pennsylvania. Please support people. You can if you don't cook or you don't want to try cooking. Hey, Kathy from Canada, she just tuned in. We've
Hi,
got
Kathy
people from
from
all over the
Canada.
country, folks. Carolinas, Florida, the states that even that are in hot water right now. We still love everybody. We want you to tune in and try out Be Here Brewing for some wonderful beer that the bottle loves, and hopefully you'll like it too. Check out Carl Dubé. Go ahead. You have to talk.
Today.
There it is with the onion rings, onion engagement rings. That's what we make here on Brews, News, and Other Nonsense, or News, Brews, and Other Nonsense, depending how you put it. Anyway, Kathy says, hi, Wife of Can. Kathy from Canada, who is really from Colorado or California. Now she's in Canada, and she's always dual citizenship. You never know. You're kind of shifty, Kathy.
Kathy married a really awesome Canadian,
Oh,
Scott.
yeah?
Yeah, Scott's a really cool guy.
But you noticed that most Canadian beers in bottles, Molson, all that, what was those other ones? Moosehead.
That's right. I think there's a lot of bottles up in Canada.
Yep. So anyway, from the great white north to the deep south, we love you all. Have no fear. The bottle is here, and the Wife of Can and her food. And we're going to post everything on the comment section. Please like us on Facebook, Beer Can of Love Story. Dislike us. We don't care. Okay? Because when the chips are down, the bottle is around. Good night, folks.
Good night, everyone.
Bye, Wife of Can.
Bye, Bottle. Bye, everyone.